I'm Doc Olds, and this is how to do a wheelie in Revhead. The first thing you're going to need is a loose front suspension. The more damaged it is, the looser it is. So like this broken Jinju here, it has most likely some bad suspension on it. There's some randomness to it, but if you just keep buying these wrecks, eventually you're going to find nice broken front suspension. This 39% isn't so bad. It's a little too stiff for what we're trying to do, but we can work on that. Take the engine out, sell it later, and that'll cover the price of buying the wreck. And you basically just keep doing that. There's plenty of wreck Jinjus out there. Here's a brown one. And yeah, same deal. You just jack it up, look for the pieces you want, take the engine out if it's not broken, and repeat. Yeah, none of those are in that bad a shape. And with enough paper loading, eventually you'll get some pieces that are in the 20s that'll match. And the 20s is pretty loose. You can easily do a wheelie in the 20s. And another way is you get those ones in the 30s or the 50s. You can take the Magura, and these things are fast right out of the box. There's two of them. There's the yellow one and the blue one. But it really doesn't take much. You just fix like the engine, the carburetor, the engine, transmission, rear end, all decent shape right off the bat, so they're fixable. Like this is just a fast car right away. And it's cheap. And when you fix the engine up and sell it, it's worth twice what the car is. So when you do stupid things like wreck it on purpose, you don't have to really worry about it. So yeah, you can take like that Jinju suspension we found is 39%. That's pretty common. You see a lot of them at 39%. It's not quite loose enough. So we'll just put it on there. And looks like we got some Walia hubs from some other project. Those can just get used. And then on the other side, same thing, we'll just remove what comes with the car, put on some trash Jinju stuff, and try to get into the 20s. And we'll take this 45 and break it too. They won't break at exactly the same rate. So if you start with two that are fairly disparate, after the wreck, you have a better chance of lining up where you want it. And we'll just, looks like this is the matching hub for that. And yeah, we'll just start the engine, lower the car, just do a quick timing job. Not even going to worry about the oil or anything like that. It only has to last a second. And then yeah, right out of the box, these cars are fast enough to get in a decent accident, and then getting your money back afterward makes it a decent deal. Because really, you're just going to take it for a ride, and that didn't totally break it. It still runs, which means you gotta run it into something else, get some more air. And it's always worth a shot. If it starts back up, take it back out. Doesn't start back up, take the suspension off and sell the engine, and I think you might even profit a little bit. Plus, we took it from 39 on this side, 45 on that side, to 34.28. Those numbers are a little better for us. But they're not quite low enough, so we can just take that off with the hub still on it. So on the next car, we won't have to mess around and put hubs on the suspension. And then sell the carcass, so we can buy the same car again from the paper. And then, yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything great in the paper. So we'll just restart. And yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything good this time. but I got plenty of selection, so we don't really have to mess around with that. But that's how you get the loose suspension for the front, which is very important. So we can make the car now. We'll start with this Walia Oot. Walia Oot's the lightest car chassis, so it's always a good starting point. And we don't need to do much to it to get a wheelie going, because that loose front suspension is the biggest part of it. We're just going to find some 405 tires. And then we're going to put some broken suspension on the front, and then give it some horsepower, and then it's going to go just fine. And you always look in the trash bin for your broken suspension pieces. And then like under 30 is good, so like that 28 we just had has a 27 next to it. You want to get the suspension as close as possible, side to side. So like here we have a couple 17s that actually match, so we'll use those. And we'll just use those Walia hubs we just took off if we can find them. I've already forgotten what I put on the other side. 17, that's right. Yeah, if these don't match, the car is going to pull really hard to one side or the other. If it's only off a percent or two, it's not so bad. But if it's off by any more than that, things go sideways really fast. And since the front tires aren't on the ground, you can't steer out of it. You're just going that way and you're on for the ride. And then yeah, with that suspension, you can take off our single exhaust and 4-cylinder, put on some dual exhaust. I have dual exhaust. Yeah. And we got lots of engines laying around. Looks like this one's got some horsepower to it. Yeah, 1175. That should make it go just fine. And since it's a drag car, we can just take these lights right out of it. We won't need sway bars. Won't need the rear lights. I'll keep the dash just on the first pass to see what things are going on with the RPM. After that, you can just shift by ear. And then on the motor, we're not going to need the generator. And we could also go without the thermostat or the water pump, but that's really taking it a little too far for this. We're just trying to get the nose up. We won't need the cooling fan. Not going far enough for that to kick on if it wanted to. The stock radiator's fine. Pretty much any gears you have is going to pop a wheelie. If it spins in first, you just put it in second and start there. And yeah, I think that's about all you need to do. If it doesn't do a wheelie the first try, then we'll just go to the back and we'll lower the back a little bit, because the lower the back is, the more weight starts off on the back, and that gives you that little bit of traction you need to get the wheelie going. So yeah, we'll just take it over to the drag strip and see what happens. Not the oval. I seem to do that a lot. Oh yeah, that's a wheelie. Yeah, wheelie's the first two gears. And yeah, that's how you get wheelies going.